And welcome back to the Brazos Valley Schools Credit Union Hotline. It's the radio guy, Dr. Mike Prince, along with Coach Dan Pettaway. Coach, how you doing today, sir?
Doing great, man. This is a great day that the Lord has given us.
Yes, sir. And we have come to the end of the road, Coach.
Oh, yeah.
We didn't do too well on last week. I think we had the carpet pulled up from underneath us with Valley's upset win over my beloved Panthers. And I'm still kind of stumbling behind that one, Coach. I couldn't see that one. I kind of had a gut feeling, but I was going with my loyalty. But it is what it is. So the thing is, they get a chance to put all that behind them and get together for this weekend.
Well, yes, they got to put it behind them because, it's all for naught. Come Saturday at 3 o'clock, you got to be ready to play. If you want to win a championship, you got to show up Saturday.
Well, Coach, look, you've been in this coaching circuit for quite some time. And, with the openings that you have throughout the conference, of course, some have been obvious, some are soon to be revealed. Do you see this being as much of a distraction, not for the coach or the coaching staff, but for the student athletes as they move toward this championship game?
Yeah, it is a distraction because, as a player, you want to know that you're playing for the right person, for the right coach, and you want to know that coach is going to be there. And these kids don't really know that because there's so many openings and there's so many room. The rumor mill is rampant right now.
Yes, sir. And here's the way I'm looking at this thing from Prairie View's perspective and the other would-be interested parties. And, of course, we're talking on behalf of Eric Dooley. If I'm Prairie View, before this kickoff ever takes place, if we are in agreement, it needs to be announced before Saturday that Dooley is our guy. Here's his commitment. Let's go Panthers.
Right. It would, to me, it would be a great start to go ahead and lock him up. If I was sitting in that AD chair, that would be one of my goals to try to lock him up before that championship game to show that he is our guy and that we are backing him by coming up with a contract.
Yes, sir. Now, a lot of people throwing some numbers around and terms, but from my understanding, coaches are more or less concerned about the time of commitment in more cases than the necessary finances. Is there any truth to that, Coach?
Well, yes. In order to have a successful program, it's going to be more than that paycheck. There are other things that are within the program that have to be addressed in order to have the success, to sustain success. Everybody can win every now and then, but to sustain success, you've got to have things in place. And a lot of times that's out of the coach's control.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Well, as they say, the witching hour is upon us, and we shall know something real soon. And whichever way the ball bounces, then all you could do is say, well done, and pick up wherever the pieces have fallen and move on from there. And speaking of that, Coach, it was, as we mentioned, a rough week on last week. And we failed to mention, but we might as well show a little love to our SWAC counterpart. FAMU had no answer for Southeast Louisiana, and I don't know how it slipped under my radar last week, but forgive me for that one, Coach. But it appears that FAMU was in a little too deep.
Well, yeah, but at the same time, it also shows that the SWAC has gotten a lot of respect out there because, they picked up an at-large berth. And to get at-large berth, it says a lot. Your two best teams, supposedly your two best teams are getting ready to play for the SWAC championship, but yet and still they speak or see highly enough of the SWAC to let another team go to the playoffs. So for FAMU to represent the SWAC, I think that's a feather in the SWAC's cap.
Coach, let me play devil's advocate just for a moment. Do you think is that they saw the favor in the SWAC, or was it more or less favor in FAMU?
Well, they're part of the SWAC, so it had to come that way.
No, I understand that, but was it the brand of the FAMU brand only to a degree, or would it made a difference if they were in the MEAC?
I don't think if they had been in the MEAC, they would have got to be because they don't view the committee does not view the MEAC as an upper tier conference. I think the SWAC brand really showed itself by FAMU being in. And I think had FAMU been in this championship game, Jackson State would have gotten in the playoffs.
Okay.
It's the SWAC brand.
Okay, fair enough. Well, sir, we're going to do something a little unique before we do our pick of the week. It's not much to pick from these days. I'm holding on to a one-game margin here.
Yep.
I'm walking nervous, Coach. I'm walking nervous. So what I wanted to do, if it's all right with you, Coach, I want to go through a letter grade of our SWAC football coaches for the Fall 21 campaign. And, of course, we'll try to say some of the bigger brands for last on this section here. And we'll just start by and, give your letter grade and based on why you gave what you gave. And with that being said, we will open up in the realm of Bethune-Cookman and Coach Terry Sims.
Well, he would have to get a D in my book.
Uh-huh.
I think coming into the season, we expected more from Bethune-Cookman.
Right.
And that's why I would give him a D at this point.
Yes, sir. Yeah, my letter grade exactly was the same for him because of, like we stated, the high expectations. And maybe we put them too high up there, but they definitely missed the mark. And the D was the letter grade that I would give on that. Now we'll go to Texas Southern and Coach Clarence McKinney.
Okay, I would give Coach McKinney a C because I thought that coming down the stretch, they put some things together, and Texas Southern was putting some fear in a lot of people out there.
Okay, we're so far so good. So you must be cheating on my notes over here. I got a C for Coach McKinney as well, and the fact that he was able to identify a quarterback, and that is a program with a much, much brighter future.
Oh, yeah.
Next, we'll go to your beloved Pine Bluff Golden Lions and Coach Doc Gamble.
Well, I got to give Coach Gamble, I'm sorry, he has to get a D. He in my opinion, he put me at the bottom of the barrel because I had so much faith and confidence in them. And for about 3 weeks there, he really disappointed me. So he has to get a D in my book.
Okay, and I was a little more rougher, I guess. I gave a D minus, not an F, but a D minus, because to fall so quickly from Western Division champion to end up where you were, and we know it wasn't expected, and it was just a tough deal to overcome. So I gave a D minus. So we'll roll on, and we will go to, let's go to Alabama State. Now, we got 2 grades for Alabama State. Yeah, Coach Ely, of course. Then you have interim coach, Coach Pearson.
Right. Well, for Coach Ely, it's obvious he would have to get an F because he did not finish the season. The expectations were higher for that program, and I would have to give him the F, and I would give Coach Pearson, the interim coach, I would have to give him a C because I think he came in at a very tough time, and he lit a fire up under that team, and they were able to come up with a couple of wins.
Okay, and I was a little bit more generous because he did come in at a short time talking about Coach Pearson. I actually gave him a B+ because they won 2 games in a row, and that's a tough job to walk in behind someone that you were serving under and try to recultivate these young minds and trying to eliminate some of the things that their leader had been trying to instill in them to go toward a new direction. And, of course, with Ely, I gave Ely a D-. I don't like trying to give too many Fs, but I gave him a D- because he has always worked with multiple years of one-year contracts, and I never did understand that, and that's still baffling to me today.
Okay.
Next, we will go to Grambling State, Coach Broderick Fobs, and then the interim Coach Terrence Graves.
Well, with Coach Fobs, he's in that same category. Coach Ely didn't make the season, so anytime they don't make the season, I think they deserve that grade of F. So he'll get that F, and then the interim coach would get a D in my because he did come up with a win, but that's the best I can do at this point.
You say he came up with the win?
I'm sorry, he came up with a D. The D was for the effort. I'm sorry.
Oh, okay. I was like, hold on, I thought I misinterpreted something there. So, boy, you're a hard taskmaster, Coach. You're a hard taskmaster.
Oh, yeah.
I gave Coach Fobs yet again a D- because of the circumstances, and I gave Coach Graves a C. And the reason I gave him a C because he did put out a competitive product out there. And for the one game and the short notice, even though they had a week, bye week to get prepared for it, it still was to a degree a competitive game. Now that leads us to Southern University, Coach Rollins. And what's your letter grade on him, sir?
Well, I think he fell below expectations from the Southern fans and from a lot of the media people. They thought that he had a championship team there, so he would have to get a D. From me.
Now, do you think it was fair to put that kind of pressure on him walking into that situation?
Well, I thought Coach left a championship team there. That's the way the media saw it, and that's the way some of the coaches in the league saw it. They saw that they thought that the talent was there. So I think when the talent is there, you have to really look at what the coach is doing and how he put that talent together.
Yes, sir, and he gets a D in my letter grade as well, even though he didn't win the Bayou Classic. But it was, like you say, to whom much is given, much is required. And the next school that we will go to will be the FAMU Rattlers and Coach Willie Simmons.
Wow, Coach Simmons, in my opinion, gets I would give him a B, a if he'd won it, but he gets a B in my estimation because I think he really rallied that team down the stretch after that opening loss to Jackson State, and I thought they played some inspired football. Just came up short in the playoffs, but I would have to give him a B.
Same here, sir. We're kind of walking in agreement over here, man. I'm kind of getting this vibe off of you, Coach. Coach Simmons, outstanding coaching mind. Like you said, they didn't have quite enough gas in the tank to take care of Southeast Louisiana, but you can best believe they'll store some things up and be prepared for it in the future. Moving right along, we will go to none other than Coach Dion Sanders at Jackson State, sir.
Well, before we go to the top,
No. I'm sorry, I overlooked one, and you're absolutely right, and I'm glad you didn't answer. Coach Fred McNair and the Alcorn State Braves.
Well, Coach McNair will get a B, and I'm gonna tell you why I'm giving him a B. Notice it did not turn out the way he wanted it to be, but I'm giving him a B because he kept the train on the track, going through all of the different things that university had to go through this year off the field. So he gets a B in my opinion.
Okay, and I actually gave him a B+.
Okay.
A B+ for those very same reasons. You know this more so than anyone else, Coach. It's so many backstories that people will never get to hear about until 10, 20 years down the road that this man has weathered and endured consistently. and you never hear him say one word one way or the other.
That's right.
Yes, sir. Now I got a little ahead of myself. Had to say the cart before the horse there.
We still have Alabama A&M to get.
Oh, you know what, man? You know what? How could I forget your guy? Forgive me, Coach.
Okay.
You know, okay. And look, I got to. Let me formally introduce him. Him now. For someone that's listening, now, who is he talking about? Coach Connell Maynard of the Alabama A&M Bulldogs.
Wow, my coach, but at the same time, I can't spare the rod. He gets a C in my book.
Okay.
For the season, 7-3. A lot of people would be happy with that, but we came in the season with high expectations. You won the spring championship. You won a national championship. I think with all the tools he had coming back, we expected more, so he gets a C in my estimation.
C is here as well, sir. And I think, and I know it's about sportsmanship and gamesmanship and everything, probably not as much hot sauce next time, you know, on some of the comments, and just go ahead and concentrate on the X's and O's and let the players do the talking on the field.
Right.
Okay. Now, am I all clear now, sir? I'm trying to make sure I'm clear now. I'm checking every crook and cranny right about now.
Well,
let's go.
We also we got to go to the Delta.
Man, that's why I got you here, Coach.
We got to go to the Delta.
Got to go to the Delta, and Coach Vincent Dancy with the Mississippi Valley State Delta Devils. Well,
I'm going to tell you, his grade is a B+ for me. Because I thought that this young man went into a very tough situation. We talked about the school that has the least, and I thought he got the most out of his talent. So he gets a B+ from me.
Absolutely. That's the exact grade that I gave him, a B+. I've always been fascinated with the underdog, especially with the SWAC underdogs or the HBCU underdogs, because once again, those backstories, people don't know half the things that these guys are dealing with or what they're not dealing with. And for him to put out a competitive program that he has done, and they say, well, they only won 4 games. But if you look at the body of work these guys put in from opening kickoff to the final kickoff, and, Coach, I was on record for saying, and you know I love my Panthers, but when I saw that Valley was this final game of the Panthers' regular season, it scared the dickens out of me. And to no avail, they ended up with a 24-19 victory over my beloved Panthers, and an extension to the 2-year extension that Dancy gets. He fades off into the sunset, going back to the Delta with a win, man.
Yep. That's great.
Yes, sir. Now we're going to stay in the state of Mississippi and go to the capital, Jackson, Mississippi. Coach Dion Sanders, Jackson State University.
Well, Coach Sanders will get an A from me because, number one, he won the league. He talked about it in the spring. He said that he didn't have his horses. His horses were still in the barn when everybody else was out running. And he said, once I get my horses out there, things will be different. And he backed it up. Hit the
nail right on the head.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
So he gets an A.
Okay. And as they say, like them, love them, whatever you want to disagree with him about, he put up where his mouth was saying, and he backed it up. So he definitely gets an A from us as well. Now to his counterpart from this upcoming SWAC championship game, Coach Eric Dooley, and I'm interested to hear your letter grade on this one.
Well, he'll get a B+ from me. I can't give him an A because he stumbled down the stretch. He'll get a B+ from me because I thought he did an outstanding job in preparing his men to play this season. but they did falter down the stretch, and I didn't hear about any major injuries. Most of the time when you falter, you're missing key personnel. So he gets a B+ from me.
Well, Coach, you definitely must have an I Spy or something, because I gave him a B+ as well. But I gave him a B+ for a couple of, similar reasons. You stumble in losing 3 in a row, which is never a good thing going into a championship game. I believe that once you lost against Alcorn and Jackson helped you out by defeating Alcorn, I think some of the sting left, which was a setup. And I still dread the fact that they had to play Texas A&M prior to the Valley game. And that was just a tough setup. And I really think, and I've shared this with you before, we always talk about 3 stages in football: offense, defense, special team, but I think there are 4 stages. You got to add coaching. And I think Coach Dooley outcoached himself slightly against Alcorn, which could have made a different outset of that entire game. But nonetheless, it will be a B+, and they will kick off on Saturday at 3 p.m., which leads us to our pick, Coach.
Well, going into this championship game, I felt that this would be a great game. I still think it's going to be a great game, but I'm going to have to stay with the home team in the SWAC championship, Jackson State. I'm going to vote for Jackson State in this championship game.
Well, I knew you would do that, sir, and I can't blame you for it, but I'm going to have to agree to disagree with you. And it's never personal. It's all pride and business and loyalty. And so with that, I think the Panthers will have to be creative. They will have to be consistent, and they can't get in their own way to pull out a very slim margin of victory over Jackson State this weekend. So I'm going to roll with the Panthers, sir.
Okay. And then our tiebreaker is going to be that SEC championship game. And I'm going to stay in the state of Alabama, and I'm going to roll with the Tide.
You going to roll Tide, Coach?
Yes, sir.
And I'm going to bark Georgia Bulldogs, because I know it's going to be one heck of a game. Saban is a master of preparation, but even with preparation, what is old saying, hard work beats talent when talent don't work hard.
Yep.
And I think Georgia has both the hard work and the talent to go with what has been a magical season defensively. Now, I don't see this being a bunch of points being scored. I'm seeing something more like of a 17-13 victory, Georgia over Alabama, sir.
Okay. Well, we shall see. We shall see.
We shall see. And for those that are listening, you can listen to the SWAC championship game. I know it will be televised, but for those that will be traveling out and about, you can listen to the SWAC championship game on the Open Mic Broadcast Network at obnradio.com. And if you happen to be on your phones or out and about fishing or whatnot, you can dial 857-777-0000 and check out the broadcast. Lee Hall and Joshua Davis will be doing the play-by-play, and we'll be every step of the way, hopefully, behind the scene, pulling and rooting for my old beloved Panthers, Coach.
I think that's a good thing. Your loyalty is there for Prairie View. They don't have a bigger fan in the world than you, and that's great. And that's why I roll with Alabama A&M all year. And I have to stay in the state of Alabama and roll with the Crimson Tide.
Yes, sir. But let's say, note to self, be cautious of UAPB.
Yeah.
Oh, well, Coach, it's always a joy to get together with you, sir. Any closing thoughts and comments for this week, sir?
Well, so it's been a great year. I really have enjoyed the pick'ems, and I think that you do a great job in getting the message out, and I hope that you continue to get the message out to our people, because what you do is much needed, And I just want to thank you for the job that you do and the job that you will continue to do.
Well, thank you, sir, for being a part of what we try to get accomplished here at the Open Mic. As I say, it takes a village to raise a child, and the child is the SWAC brand, the HBCU brand, and thank you for your helping lift up that child. He is Coach Van Pettaway, the guru, the man amongst men when it comes to X's and O's, and we're going to get into his season a little bit more deeper in the near couple of weeks. I am the radio guy, Dr. Mike Prince. Thank you guys so much for joining in with us on the Brazos Valley Schools Credit Union Hotline. And until the next time, you guys be blessed. We'll see you on the other side.